throughout this journey of casually not accepting the circumstances, but trying to say how can we better and enrich our circumstances, because it's not something I tolerate. It's not something I'm promoting or advocating. However, I'm fully aware of the challenges and the reasons why people might resort or go through these situations, right? And so I sympathize, I empathize for all of it. And I think, what I would like for you to maybe gather for everyone else is what verbiage should we be using to bridge that gap of awareness? Because I don't want people to think that you're running a crack house anymore. That's not the optics.
Right.
It shouldn't be that way, because what you're saying has a lot of words, needs all the acronyms and all that shit. But how can we go about communicating to the general public that what you're doing is not only needed, but it helps, like it legit helps.
Absolutely.
And transitions people from being on the street to potentially going into a roadmap of reintegration into fucking regular life. Like, I don't think that using heroin is regular. Like, I don't know, but like, what's the wildest story you got from, like, what's the wildest shit you've seen, just out of curiosity? I'm sure every day is fucking wild. But.
Yeah, every day is man, yeah. Damn, it was just like going like that on your camera roll, right? You see everything like flash by. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
There was, when I first started, we were still on the RVs, and I was in a meeting at New York Presbyterian talking some Hep C shit. And the vehicles, it was 3 vehicles, so I was the manager, and there was another manager covering me. So it was like I left like at 11 o'clock. It's like 11:30, 11:45. My meeting is supposed to go till 12:30, and my phone starts buzzing, and I'm like, hold on, let me look, and I'm just like, and it's like, yo, come back to the site. We got like multiple overdoses, like simultaneous overdoses, multiple.
All hands on deck.
So I'm like, yo, I gotta bounce. So I jet back and I come, and like they just brought like 3 or 4 people back, and we had like 11 or 12 overdoses that day. Like,
oh my God.
Like I'm talking about blood coming out the ears. I'm talking about like foaming at the mouth, like.
And you're trained to deal with that too?
Yeah. We're trained up to the level of a nurse in overdose intervention.
Wow.
So CPR, AED, compressions, all that. Oral airways, intranasal airways.
Damn.
Oxygen, O2, ambu bag, pony mask, everything. Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. So that day was nuts, because we're like, yo, what the fuck is happening? Like, why are people overdosing like this? This isn't normal. So there was a hustler that used to like come by and get supplies for his spot. And he used to come and get fentanyl test strips, right? So he happened to be coming by, and he was like, just looking like, yo, what the fuck?
The fuck is going on?
These are all my return clients.
What's going on?
My liability's gonna be through the roof.
If these motherfuckers file insurance claims, I will no longer be able to sell in the streets.
Close my business. Wow.
But and that sounds funny, right? But the beauty of it was that we were like, yo, can you help? Because like, what is this batch right here? And he was like, that's not my shit. Like, swear to God.
Absolutely.
So he went up to Audubon or wherever he went, and he went to the trash spot, and my man came back with a bottle of boric acid. He said they cut in it with this.
They cut in
with boric acid. So he was like, he asked them, he was like, yo, they struggling over there on Amsterdam, like, can y'all pull this?
Fuck
and he went back to the trap and was like, yo, they got 12 ODs over there. Y'all need to shut that shit down. And they fucking did. But yo, that was like, I went like, wild. And I got home like at 10 that night, and like I went home and fucking cried. Like, yo, that shit was intense. Like, and if we didn't have the relationship with that dude, like, there was no way for us to know what block that was coming from, whose shit that was. Like he knew as soon as he saw it, he was like, oh, I know whose that is. You know, and like he went and he was.
Oh, shout out to the dude for putting a stop to that shit.
Man,
damn. He could have easily not even said nothing and let that shit keep rocking.
And there was a point where I came out, my boss was with the AD, like clear on one person and on another person simultaneously. It was just like banging people like that on the fucking RV on an RV, bro.
But they were going to the RV to get more supplies, or they would come
to consume and to get supplies or to just chill. Like they would be
in the RV you could have consumed in the wow.
That was part of the program that was unsanctioned.
Copy.
It's like, yo, what happens behind closed doors?
Yeah.
Plausible deniability. You feel me?
Damn.
That's wild.
But they were coming out and they were like bang, like just going down hard and dangerous. It was scary to see. Like even in the overdose prevention centers, we've never seen some shit like that.
Yeah.
And there's been so much more consumption and it's serious. It was wild.
That's really heavy.
Yeah.
On the flip side, what have been experiences that leave you with satisfaction and leave you with joy of like a positive experience from this?
Honestly, there's a lot to pull from. I mean, we've gotten people into treatment, and when they come out, help them get stable by getting their benefits in place. We create jobs for the community too. Good, so I've seen people come off the street and get a job and hold that down for years. There's been, users. There was one person who was a drug user, and somebody brought her to us like, yo, she's pregnant. Please help her. And we were like, all right, what can we do for you? How far along are you? And she starts, talking to us, and her man was like not having that shit. He was like, nah, yo, we out, we off this, and yo, we never saw her again for like 2 or 3 months. So, but the plan, we did have a plan before he took her. We was like, yo, we're gonna come back tomorrow with a doctor. We're gonna come to your spot with a doctor for you. We talk about meeting them where they're at. We bring the doctor. Shorty was gone. We didn't see her again for like 2 or 3 months. Never saw her again. We finally saw her again 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And we're like, yo, where
God.
you been at? Yo, like, are you still pregnant? She's like, mad pregnant. She was like, we're like, yo, we'll be right back. We went and got the doctor. We came back. Yo, we brought her back. We finally, and then old boy was like not trying to have it. So my staff is like, yo,
like he has suspicion, or
like,
he's just...
like how it is. It's when you're in the street and like and you're a drug user and you're doing sex work and And he's like, you're not leaving my side. So my guys is like, yo, he's not even trying to like have this shit. So I'm like, what are you talking about? Offer his ass help too. Like bring his ass. He could come too. Like I know he needs something. Like he could come get a shower, come get food, come get whatever he needs. Make it about him too. Like we want to help her. Yeah, right. She's the most vulnerable person in the situation. But this is low threshold, low barrier service. So if he's a barrier, eliminate that. Offer him help too. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was more than happy to be included.
Hell yeah, that's how you go about it.
Yeah, and she came in, and we got her like a lot of shit that she needed, the prenatal vitamins, a bunch of stuff that she needed, clothes, a shower, food. Community, right? She was never been to the spot before. She was resistant, so she just knew us from us engaging her in the street. So when she came and there was like a kit packing event, she jumped in on that, and it was like I was like, that was perfect because like we just gave her a sense of community, something that she didn't have. She was sleeping in the street and wherever they could with this dude. So then from there, they were able to connect her to a provider like that could give her the care that she needed, really needed, like Institute of Family Health. And so now she went and she got a sonogram, and she's it's gonna be a journey still, right? It's not
absolutely.
I mean, what plan do you draw up for something like that? And also now, once that child's born, what happens? Like, does she raise a kid, or like how does that? Just so many fucking questions.
There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions,
and there's a lot of routes to take.
Yeah. Facts.
There's a lot of routes to take. They could end up in the shelter. They got a lot of programs.
There's options.
Yeah, because they got in LESC. They got inpatient for pregnant homegirls too. In my job too. So
we try to get her engaged with something like that.
Yeah.
And then from that point, it would kind of be out of our hands, right?
Yeah.
Once we transfer care, it's, hopefully she does the right thing and is able to continue to navigate it. But again, with addiction, it's tough.
It's tough, yeah.
My bad, I made levity of the other situation of the drug dealer's perspective if he had insurance liability.
Yeah.
It's just
that was me. It was just
but
just trying to crack it up.
It's just my motherfucking way of coping.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So it's a heavy conversation, man, and so my bad, but
It's all good.
I'm just like looking at it from a fucking business level. Diablo, mira,
That's imagine that. He looked at it like that too, I guess, you know?
Yeah,
So,
I'm
but
sure.
it's just my takeaway from that entire situation is the fact that there are realities, because the idea of the completely eradicating a problem that's already been instituted or a systemic institution and saying like, yo, all we got to do is lock niggas up, throw away the key, and that's it, right? Like, nah. What you're sharing with me, what you're teaching me is that it's not. There has to be. Not everything is a highway. There's a bridge. You gotta and you gotta show people not only how to cross the bridge. You gotta give them directions that once they get on the other side of the bridge, which motherfucking route they want to take, and then when they get to that destination, then what they gonna do?
Of course,
Step-by-step
someone
directions.
to hold
Yeah.
their hand
This is
while they're
Google
doing
Maps.
that.
Yeah, motherfuckers got no Google Maps.
Yeah, exactly,
For real,
exactly.
for real. And
Exactly.
then, historically, like you said, they've been trying to incarcerate away the problem. You can't do that.
You can't
No,
do
it
it.
just creates more
You can't
problems.
do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, my bad. We're over the hour mark, and I like I said, I do try to be.
We definitely need a part 2.
Yo, that went by fast.
For real. Definitely need a part 2.
But because I'm like heavy from it, like, man, and so props to you, brother, for doing it day in, day out. Niggas say waking up at 6 not waking up at 6 in the morning, going out in the streets at 6 in the morning.
Shout out to my 6 a.m. teams, because that show's
Shout out.
fucking me.
That is serious. Shout out to them. Shout out to them.
You're doing, as they say, the Lord's work.
Yo,
Yeah, for
The Lord's work need funding.
So y'all set up an example to a bunch of institutions and religious institutions, particularly, that preach all these things, but you're doing the work. So
niggas claim they could. Let's get the devil out of them.
Yeah.
And
Fuck outta here.
Motherfuckers be
Should've worked like that. Fucking should've worked like that,
Yeah.
bro. It'll work like
Can't
that.
trust
He
that.
good off that time, right?
Yeah, it'll work
can't
like
trust
that.
those folks.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I feel bad for not knowing this side of it. I feel bad for the amount of times that I cursed the thought of this happening in my hood. I feel bad that this happens in my hood. You know what I mean? It was a lot of things, and in the very beginning, in full transparency, I thought programs like yours were planted in our neighborhood to fucking scare away lifers, and that once niggas terrorized our streets with junkies, and everybody moved out, that they would shut your shit down, and then more white people move in, like, legit, and I still believe that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's partly true. Both things could be true, like, but not necessarily our program. But that shit is true, because redlining, rezoning, like, all that is strategy that was put in place 30, 40 years ago, and is now.
It's absolutely seeping its way. And now that New York City has gotten the crown title of being the most expensive city in the world.
In the world?
In the
Currently?
world. Currently.
It beat Dubai?
It beat Dubai.
What?
Japan and all those other places?
Yeah. And I'm like, get the fuck out of
San
here.
Francisco too?
San Francisco. I saw it on the Instagram post. I need to double check.
Yeah, double check that.
I can't be spreading.
Fact check that.
Can't be spreading these fake news lies. But
I mean, it feels like that.
and it's one of those
Sure
like.
does, yeah.
Today I was like, how did
damn.
milk fucking double in price?
I paid $8 for a bag of Doritos.
It's fucking crazy, bro. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, so it's hard. Times are hard.
One apple, $1, bro.
What?
One fucking apple. I'm like, what? You should buy 5 of them shits with that one apple,
Yeah.
one green apple, $1. I was fucking tight.
It should be a quarter an apple and like
man, you know how expensive-
$4 for $1, but get one free.
You know how expensive these green juices is fucking going down, bro. I'm trying to make a green juice every morning. That shit is a fucking bill, bro.
Truly.
That shit
No,
is serious.
we buy stuff for green juices here, and that bill is
That
like
shit is-
$60
It's serious.
for a week. Yeah.
For a week.
One bundle of kale.
God damn, like yo.
Yeah, so it's hard.
So it's hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's but I'll double check that. So my bad to my listeners if I am indeed spreading fake news, but I usually put the corrections in the post. So,
Cool.
but if it's not up there, if it's not number one, it is like number two or whatever.
Yeah, for
but,
sure.
But most importantly, we're on this motherfucking island, so it even feels way more expensive for regular folk.
I have a question about that. Has the increase in prices affected your operations?
Oh, Jay, that's you. Don't touch that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know, honestly. I mean, yes, because like food is more expensive, and we do have a food program.
Okay.
But as far as like I'm gonna say yes. You know why? Because supply chain issues. So yes. Even in particular, like I was trying to get, I had some money for some new kiosks. I had like $20K. So I'm like, yo, great, let's get 6 kiosks.
Damn.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Hold up. Kiosk cost like
A couple
fucking $20 a pop or some shit. $20,000 a pop. Yeah. Yeah, niggas say, nah, you just gotta understand that the installation,
Man, get his
the
face,
welding.
Exactly.
The actual manufacturing process.
Yeah,
Serious.
Yeah, not real shit.
$2.
It's a metal worker. Like these are manufactured like from scratch.
Yeah, niggas never had this shit before.
Yeah.
Custom made.
Yeah. So I hit him up. I'm like, girl, 6 kiosks, and then like 3 months pass by, and he's like, hits me back. He's like, yo, it's gonna have to be 5 kiosks.
Damn.
I'm like, wow. He's like, cause supply chain.
Yeah, yeah.
Supply chain
metal
fucked up right
comes
now.
from China, or
Oh,
steel
Lord.
comes from China, or whatever.
Yeah.
And what doesn't come from
Yeah,
China?
for real.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This tree comes from
For
China.
real, everything
Just
comes from
kidding.
China.
The seeds probably came from China.
Yeah. So I definitely say hell yeah. And we spent mad money on food.
Yeah.
So
That's wild.
I mean, $8 a bag for a Doritos bag.
Yeah.
That's
wild.
insane.
That's fucking crazy.
We're gonna switch off into a last segment just to shift it, and because I do want to have you back if you would like to be back.
I'd love to be. For sure.
Because this was beyond informative. You know, I opened up a whole nother Pandora's box with the other conversation of redlining and all of that. But
And I ain't even talk about how much money we save in the city.
so you want to hit us with those facts? Go ahead, drop those numbers because
Drop them bombs on
yeah.
them. Drop them bombs
so
on them.
Go ahead, start.
We'll drop another bomb. 'Cause, yo, listen, so to date with these 650 overdose interventions, we've only called EMS 10 times.
Wow.
MS is medical services.
Emergency medical services,
Emergent
right?
EMS. My bad.
So when you call for an overdose, that triggers the emergency medical services, and it triggers an NYPD fentanyl task force, right? With these 650 that we haven't called for, we're preventing that service from being used. We're also preventing the emergency room from being used, right? And with our clinic, we're also preventing people from using the emergency room as their primary care, right?
Yeah.
So we've saved the city close to $19 million. Right?
Oh,
You hear that, motherfuckers?
Wow.
Yo, they saved
19
y'all
million.
19 because y'all thinking that there is no trickle up effect into what is taking place. By if a dude overdoses in the street, they gotta call emergency service team, which is the ambulance. That ambulance ride, if y'all motherfuckers
like
don't know,
5,000.
is like $5K off the
Like
rip.
5,000
It's
off
like
the
20K.
rip.
Big
No.
facts.
Like, yo,
feel like
it's
it's a lot
up,
more.
It's up there.
Yeah.
like, I am a working class person, and I will not call 911.
Yeah.
I will
No.
call high class services, which is a
Yeah.
fucking
Facts.
Liberty cab driver,
Big facts.
because they will answer the phone. I can't Uber shit. I will not Uber. Them motherfuckers will. It will be a Dominican cab
Yeah.
driver that will also en route do the medical work on me. He'll be like, "¿Y qué es lo que tú tienes mal, muchacho?"
And that doesn't matter how far it is, right? It's just the pickup. It's
And it's
5,000.
literally off the rip,
Yeah.
showing
Off the
up.
rip.
Off the rip.
And they
Getting-
just drop you off.
And then you get into the triage,
Yep.
and then that costs X bread with the nurses, then the
Yep.
doctors,
Yep.
then
And
the
the
hospital
treatment,
stay,
yeah.
and then
Oh,
the
no,
cops.
They're gonna run
And
you
the,
at least 10
the
bands.
cops is a separate bill. That doesn't even count in the
Oh,
NYPD
wow.
deployment.
Damn.
This is the trickle up effect,
Yeah.
right? So you saving the city $19 million efforts and services rendered, and then also the possibility that someone else might be getting shot, dying, pregnant later, whatever.
That too.
So you're saving the services to be from being utilized. That can be utilized in other places, and making sure that you're redirecting the traffic of prioritization of medical services across the board. So that's an untangible value.
That's fucking insane, bro.
Right? Like if you think about it that
Shout out
way.
to y'all. I thought, damn, that's serious.
amazing.
I didn't even think about that.
That shit is fucking serious.
No, y'all need more money.
I didn't even think
more
of
funding.
it.
And some people, you have to talk to them about it in dollars because that's all
how
they
they
That's the
understand.
only they
understand
talk.
it.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's NYPD, EMS, hospital,
Even fire departments, right? Because fire departments could be
departments,
EMS too.
So that's one part of it. The actual cost of cleaning up the street in itself, I will say, there can be more because but the fact is, nigga, you got no bread, right? Like if you got no money, how you gonna have a team of people?
Yeah.
Because I don't know many people that just gonna volunteer picking up needles.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta pay people, right? Because all these motherfuckers that are preaching and talking mad shit about it, they ain't out there picking up needles.
Nah.
They just complaining.
And shout out to, there's 2 groups in the Heights that have come to us for sharps training, and they do pick up. So
Sharps training is
like syringe pickup.
okay.
So shout out to Friends of J Hood Park
Friends of J Hood Park.
and the Word Up Bookstore.
Oh, word up. Yeah, they're great.
So people from Word Up Bookstore picking up needles.
Yeah, they this past summer they came to us because they wanted to do some outdoor events over there by 165.
Yeah.
And
We grew up on 6'5", so
Yeah.
we know all that. I mean, yeah.
So they were like, "Yo, we walked the trail and there was massive syringes all over." And I was like, "Yo, we'll come help you. We'll come out there, train you how to do it, and do it with you, and then give you the supplies you need to do it too."
Could people
So,
sign up to volunteer to do that too?
yeah, at the bookstore. I don't know if they're doing it now. It's pretty cold, but in the summer, I'm
Yeah.
sure they're gonna do it again.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they are.
Do you see an increase of participants at the locations using more indoors during the winter because it's brick?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we're way busier in the winter. Always.
That's wild.
Like our drop-in center's busier. The overdose prevention center's busier. Like every program, just they're trying to get in from the elements and stuff like that. So.
And before we even started, I asked you regarding the holiday season if you see an increase, and what you shared with me was very, very real. That you're like, yeah, man, people actually use more during the holidays because they get triggered thoughts of, no family. And
Exactly. Yeah.
the humanization aspect, motherfuckers. People, be human.
Yes. Yes. They are people.
Show up.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
Compassion, empathy, just words of good. I know, we've been taught that this is a threatening situation, but these are people too, and it's just wild. Is there any other metric number in dollars you want to drop on them, or is it 19
That shit was a mega bomb, right?
No, I feel like give them another one.
Just to kill him. Just to kill him, guys.
Just one more shot, bro.
God
I
damn.
mean, the other number is I think it only would cost us $5 million to operate 24 hours a day, both sites,
Wow,
Nothing.
that's nothing.
Yeah.
and we don't have that.
We
What?
need to get you $5 million because these niggas. You know what these politicians do? They'll give a motherfucker 20 grand and be like, "Here you go, bro.
Yeah,
Let me take a
yeah,
picture
yeah,
with you."
yeah.
And be like,
With
"Look
the
what
big
we're
check.
doing."
Big
Yeah,
check,
nigga,
yeah,
the
whole
check alone
bullshit.
costs like $500 to print. What the fuck do I care about that?
Yeah, I'm glad y'all see
Would have
this. I'm
accepted
glad,
a
I'm
wire
glad y'all know
transfer.
this.
Facts.
I would have quietly accepted a regular size check. You ain't even have to.
Giving you
We
some
don't need
good
all
PR
that
photos.
other shit, man. We don't
This
need
is
all
more
that other
towards
shit.
the neighborhood.
Yeah. Damn.
Because I've been in these rooms and I'm like looking at niggas say, here's a $1,000 grant. You can check it, bro.
Check it, send me, bro.
The size of my motherfucking living
Come
room.
on, bro. Come on. We don't need all that bullshit,
It's
bro.
gonna go to the trash. I can't cash
Yeah, what the
this.
fuck I'm gonna do with this
I don't
shit?
even know how to break this shit down to get rid of it.
Facts, yo. You gotta recycle it.
Yeah, like come on, man.
gotta
Now you
pay-
making
you
me
gotta
work.
pay to
Now you
recycle
making
it.
me work, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
We need to get you $5 million a year
Yes.
to make
$5
this
million a
happen.
year, because you're already saving the city 19.
That's
So
what
you know what I'm saying?
And
So
that 19 could be redirected for
a lot of shit.
community
Oh my God,
programming.
for schools,
A
for
lot of
things we
shit.
need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
we need
it's prevention.
We need a military defense system to help out Ukraine.
No, we
need to send another couple trillion out to Ukraine.
Thanks for the 20 mil here for Ukraine.
Oh my God.
Here we go, Ukraine. We just got an extra 20.
Them niggas will be mad. They'll be like, "Fuck you."
Yo, that is
right.
crazy.
They're like, "We need more fighter jets."
That's fucking crazy. I swear.
They've been getting what they've been
Shit is
requesting.
backwards, man. Shit is backwards.
Yeah.
Yo.
We need to help people here.
Hey, yo, you watch TV and they be dropping the billion word with no
Yeah.
problem.
No problem
Like
at all.
nothing. Like nothing, bro. Like
It's inflation.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Es una mierda increíble.
Because the 20 is now the new $1.
Yeah.
So the billion is now the new 500,000.
Homeless people don't even ask me for change anymore, bro.
I know.
Be like, yo, can I get $1?
Niggas, they ask me for two now.
$2.
Because it's facts. Like, what the fuck you gonna do with $1?
Yo.
I come from an era. Yo, the other day, not the other day. I mean, this is like way off topic. We went to a museum a few weeks ago, a month ago.
I
and-
think we shared this story on another episode.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yo, and I bought. I was like, yo, it's a chip, potato chip, and it was like $2, $2.25.
It was 178.
178.
Something like that.
So like, what, who the fuck prints
That's a random
170?
ass
Yeah,
number.
where does 78
It was
come
like,
from?
it was a
Uh,
random number. It's a museum.
Yo, I was like, God damn, back in my day, shit was 25 cents.
25 cents.
And I just look at him. I was like, "How old are you? This has been $1 for the last decade."
You don't know what we did with $1 back in the day.
You got 4 snacks with that $1 back in the
And
day.
so
Four snacks.
the reason I share that story again, if I did share it before, my bad. But the reason I share it is because in front of Wendy's on 165th Street in Broadway, the homeless dude used to ask me for a penny. He used to ask me for a
penny?
nickel or a dime.
That's why.
That was mad. Yo, niggas would be daring if they asked you for a quarter.
Daring. They
That's
up
for a
that
laptop.
shit up.
I don't got a quarter in my pocket.
No, so
Fuck
that
that
would
too.
easily be your like comeback. Yo, my bad, man. I don't have any change. Now niggas don't want change. They're
But
like,
I
yo,
get where they coming from.
I
I
yo,
get,
cash at me then.
I get the angle though. You know why I get the angle? Because back in the days, a lot of people wasn't using cards like today.
oh no, yeah, everything.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people had change back in the day, so they accumulate a lot more money. Now there's a lot of cards. Yeah, my bad, bro. Use the card.
That's true. I'm guilty
My
of
bad,
that.
bro.
Yeah,
Use the
use
card
the
in there. I'm
card.
sorry. Change. So I get it.
Motherfucker
Fucking
gonna
double
put-
it up.
They
Double
gonna
it
start
up.
pulling up
Yeah.
with the Square app.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Fuck
yeah,
that
heard
shit
that.
right here.
Exactly, bro. Fuck that. I don't blame him. Double that shit up.
I got my QR code here.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck that.
All right, we're gonna transition. Now, my bad, we just fucking went like 20 more minutes over. We're gonna transition into a segment we call "Last Call for Words." Dre, my brother, last call for words. What would you like to
Yes,
share?
last call for words. This was an amazing conversation. Help is out there, clearly, and I was a person that reached out for that help. I got that help, and it changed my life. And I just want people to, to know that there's people that care, and there's people that want to help. And shout out to On Point, shout out to you, my brother, because it's an amazing situation that you got over there. And I would love to partner up some way, somehow with my line of work, and we could make something happen, man, because you're doing something very, very incredible, and I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you for dropping those bombs. Man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Nah, people don't know. Motherfuckers don't know the basic shit. There is help.
There's a lot of help.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But
My brother, Jason.
Yes.
Man, my bad if at some points I just felt and seemed exhausted from what you're sharing because, it was a lot. It was a lot.
It's heavy, man.
It's heavy.
That's
and
why.
so I thank you for coming in on your day off and sharing not only so much knowledge, awareness, but facts, realities of what you're experiencing on your day to day. So, please let me know your last call for words.
Well, I want to start by thanking you guys for having me. This was, like I said, it was refreshing. It was great to be here and have the conversation in this way, among people that are like me, the community. I want to put out that onpointnyc.org is our website. We're accepting donations on that site, and we're also hiring. So there's plenty of jobs available. We hire people with lived experience, people with history of incarceration, former drug users, right? So we're really creating jobs for the people that we serve as well, and the community at large. our public safety hotline. Since this is a community-based show, I want to drop that as well. That's something that we have for you guys, to have something tangible, a way for you to contribute to the cause, right? So if you see syringe litter on that in the community, you see public drug use, you see somebody overdosing, you can call that number. It is only in operation from Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. That's a funding issue, of course, but we're doing what we can.
It's like I gotta have a job. If I have a job and I am doing day-to-day shit, like how the fuck my mans don't do drugs on a regularly scheduled program. Like,
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because they do drugs before 9 and after 5.
Except on holidays.
Just
kidding. Gotta stop with the jokes.
But no. So, but yes. What is the hotline?
So public safety hotline 718-415-3708.
Nice.
415-3708. Look at that, man. I got this shit right here.
There you go.
And 718 number. How y'all got a 718?
I was like, yo, when I saw that, I was like, nah, we don't need a new hotline number. That's a New York-based number.
Yeah.
I was like, because they were like, let's do an 800 number. I was like, no, New York.
That feels mad impersonal.
I was like, yeah, facts.
So people can call that number.
Yeah, they can call that number. We guarantee a quicker and more humane response than 911 or 311. Within an hour, 1 to 4 hours. So we have a small team, and we do service the Bronx, East Harlem, and Washington Heights. So
how big is the team? Once again,
right now they stand at 24 people. Our Heights team is 7, our Harlem team is 9, and our Bronx team is 7, I think, or 6, something like that. I don't know if that maths, but but it's 24 in total. So. And we're here. We're trying to cover as much ground as possible, and I appreciate the supporters and the allies and the advocates and the ambassadors that we have in the community. Hopefully this will bring us more of those, and if you know anybody looking for a job, if you want to switch sides, homie, we're here, bro.
And if you were to build that 5 million, how many more opportunities would that open? A
lot. Honestly, that will cover 2 entire more shifts of people. We could probably go from 100 staff to 200.
Oh wow!
And have more operational hours, better outreach.
Yeah.
Yes.
Having better outreach to people, knowing who to contact, because rather than just calling the cops,
we could expand that hotline services.
That's what's up. Yeah.
All right. So, my brother.
We gotta start making a plan.
Yeah,
man.
We gotta start making a plan.
Thank you for sharing everything and all of that, because the entire conversation was a gem, and so I appreciate you for all that.
Likewise, thank you.
The honorable, the lovely Lady H, what would you like to share?
Again, you're doing the Lord's work. You and your team. It's really incredible, and what you shared today, it just gives a renewed sense of appreciation for what is working and what is right in our lives right now and what's beautiful in our lives, because it's rough out there. And I think I just want to depart this season, now that we're at Christmas, to really celebrate love and the families that we have, the friends that we have in our community, and to share love, more importantly, with people we don't know, with people we may assume things, the negative and the worst of. And I think just love and appreciation.
Yes.
So thank you for coming and sharing, and donate.
Yes.
I'll be donating. So thank you.
Thank you.
But our donations are like $5. Honorable, lovely Lady H, thank you very much, Phoebe.
That's a meal right there.
Facts. Facts. You gotta see it like that. You have to see it
find
like
the silver
that.
lining.
You see, we have to see it like that. I don't know how big of a meal.
But it's
because the shit is expensive, but it's something to munch on.
It ain't no
It's
motherfucker. It's definitely a Kennedy Fried Chicken. It ain't no fucking apples, clearly.
Yeah.
Could be rice and beans though.
It's
Very
something,
nutritious.
No, mira, vaina que uno piensa. This season has been filled with wonderful guests. This episode was just filled with so much information, and you need information to learn how to be human. and to humanize, because we're so programmed to be so dismissive of a lot of things happening in the world, and we get desensitized because there's so much happening in the world that we don't allow ourselves the space, especially people impoverished, and I'm talking about fucking low class, middle class, all that kind of stuff. Like, you got your children, you got your rent, you got your bills, you got your job, you got your bosses, you got your everyday situation, and you're seeing someone dealing with an addiction issue in the street. You can easily be quick to be very dismissive, and see them as a nuisance. It takes a lot to go into the situation and see past the hurt. It takes a lot more to know that there is more to than just one aspect to the solution. For a very long time, we were programmed to just lock niggas up and throw away the key. Get rid of them, clean up the streets, street sweepers. Like, these were initiatives that were implemented and still, throughout the laws and throughout the media and the court of public opinion. No one was taking the time or making the effort to say, hey, rather than you die in the streets, let's create a space where you can get help. No one was taking the time to share that once you get the help, let me show you a roadmap to not only recovery, but then to begin living. And no one was taking the time to share that once you start living, let me introduce sustainability behind the living. No one was taking the time because no one cared or no one was taught to care. I really do hope that not only that people can walk away from this conversation feeling more empathetic towards the idea of humanizing, just having an entire human experience for people that we've been taught to be outcasts, outliers, and castaways, right? Like, write them off and remind ourselves that we're all in a human experience together, and we should be here to help and better enrich each other's lives, because if we can do that, then everybody will be better, and potentially and hopefully we will never have to resort to such extreme circumstances or extreme situations of having some sort of decompression method. That's what I'm gonna call drug use, I guess, right? And it's wild, man. I appreciate all your efforts. I appreciate you taking the time to share the knowledge, and I can walk away from this conversation not only wishing people well, but now having a tool in my pocket to share with people, like, hey, if there is assistance that you do need, you might want to consider this avenue, rather than saying, like, get the fuck off my street. Yeah. But hey, like,
That's right.
And so I walked away from this conversation not only feeling reinvigorated to be more human, but also to have a tool to share with others that do need the help, and being mindful of the fact that people do need help. And I thank you for not only educating me with that bit of information, but allowing me to see much further than at surface level, and looking into the deeper conditions of a multifactorial situation. So I appreciate you, man, and I thank you. And you just added another tool to my arsenal of help. And so I hope people can walk away from this conversation knowing that you have another tool to extend to people that not only need help, but that will also enrich your life. Because calling the cops and calling some of these other city services, their protocols may not be in line with what yours are, because you're in essence writing the motherfucking manual.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And you're out there living in it. You're with them. You're with the participants in the situation, and you're in the streets. And so you have firsthand experience. How am I supposed to listen to a nigga from fucking Cornell University or Harvard or fucking Columbia, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Some Ivy League who has no idea of what the fuck is happening in my community and with my people.
Or what's happening with that in general.
And then
The
what's
amount-
happening with
The
that?
amount of complaints
So
I
far
hear in a
removed.
room is so far removed. I'm like, y'all are upset because of that? Anyways, everyone's experience is very different.
Very, very different. But
Yes.
yo, so you're writing the manual, brother. Yeah. You're outlining the roadmap to recovery and reintegration into life. And I hope people can start viewing it that way. So I appreciate you for sharing that, and I know I can walk away with all of that. So thank you, brother. But ultimately, you know what? It's just words. Nobody cares.
Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
And I appreciate you, man. Everybody have a wonderful day. This is our first season, and this was our season finale, so I appreciate you a lot, man. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Fortune
Happy
and happiness to
holidays.
Yes,
everyone.
2023 we be back.
What?
Yes.
2023 we be
See,
back.
on the
Yeah.
flip side.
23
My
we'll be
man
stronger.
Jason will be
Yes.
back.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
With
have
a
you again.
stronger
I'll be back in 23,
conversation,
yes.
and we
Yes.
might
Yes.
be working towards that 5 million.
We gonna get that
Yes,
motherfucker.
we'll get you
Working
the
towards
5 mil.
Appreciate the love.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you, brother.
yeah.
Appreciate you.